Open doors. Since you can't always choose circumstances, make sure to choose your thoughts wisely. Choose advancement or towards the flame goods where all of your cash went. Not chakra alignment or inward refinement. Trying to find one word that lessons words determined by words and deeds. Your mind is affected by words and deeds. Your thoughts are keys to what you're trying to see, and what you're trying to see should be to reach your goals. Hold on to your dreams. Keys open doors. Since you can't always choose circumstances, make sure to choose your thoughts wisely. Choose advancement or towards the flame goods where all of your cash went. Not chakra alignment or inward refinement. Trying to find one word to describe men. Better yet, can one consciousness unify them? Pondering on these questions is where my time spent. Creative process, believe me, great.
You are now entering another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of critical thinking. A journey to a wondrous land with boundaries that of clarification. Your next stop, the Sanity Zone.
So, you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
All right. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. What's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up, New Haven? What's up, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, everybody out there? We got a couple of, let's see what you call it. Couple of problems out there. We got some problems. We got problems that the Democrats are pooping their pants over.
That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a real big problem.
That is gonna be a real big problem. Because the Democrats always follow the lead of the media and their Congress people, you know, whatever, their representatives in Congress, to say it, to be exact. So, before I get into that, because I got videos, I got different things, right, showing you what's going on, because as of, I think, Friday, the investigation into the investigators, the people who corruptly went after Donald Trump, has become a criminal investigation. And you have John Brennan, Clapper, Comey, they're all panicking. They are now hearing footsteps behind them. And it's only appropriate because they started this investigation in a way that they were going after first a candidate and then an elected president, right? But before we get to that, I want to get to the al-Baghdadi, the terrorist that died this weekend, who got killed this weekend, right? He got, like a friend of mine said, he got made dead. He got dead. That's what he said. Anyway, so it's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny, right? And I want to go through a couple of things here because we have a couple of headlines, and the major one I want to look at is what the Washington Post I'm trying to find it here. I should have pulled it up. Anyway, so the Washington Post. Let's see what they called. Okay, here goes. From the Washington Post. Their headline was Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, austere religious scholar at helm of Islamic State, dies at 48. They made him sound like being a terrorist was his 9 to 5 and, no biggie, and he's dead, right? And it's incredible because I thank them for it. Because it's not any different than what I dealt with when I came in this morning. Or not when I came in, I beat everybody here. But when people came in this morning and they started talking about al-Baghdadi's death, right? But for a newspaper, a historic newspaper, to do this, to basically nonchalantly just post that this guy died, and the only reason they did this is to try to take away the victory from Trump and his supporters. No biggie, this is just another terrorist, he died. Right? So I mean it's it really does warm my heart that they are transparently biased, transparently incompetent, right? But I love Twitter because the people on Twitter actually, and let me pass that over here now. So for anybody who wants to see the tweets, the videos, the articles I go through, just go to New Haven Independent's Facebook page and you can see the live video there. You could go to our New Haven Independent YouTube page. You could go to @WNHHLP on Twitter. Same for Periscope and so on. We're all over the place. Twitch and everywhere. So, yeah, I put the tweets up so you can see how people reacted to the Washington Post, which it ended up being a hashtag WAPO death notices, right? And this guy says, it's like describing Osama bin Laden as a peace activist, right? But it gets better. Here goes. These are mock obituaries making fun of the Washington Post for people who don't get it. Jeffrey Dahmer, connoisseur of exotic and locally sourced meats, dies at 34. That's like reporting Jeffrey Dahmer, who was a cannibal eating people, reporting his death like that, right? And let me go. Here goes a good one right here. Adolf Hitler, passionate community planner and dynamic public speaker, dies at 56. And that's exactly what the Washington Post was trying to do, right? Take the sting out of al-Baghdadi's death, but the sting is for them because it's a victory for our nation. It's a victory for our nation, but they can't see past the fact that Trump is the leader of our nation. So they make it an austere religious scholar died at 48. Let's look at a couple of more of these. John Wilkes Booth, a noted thespian American actor and member of a prominent theatrical family, dead at 26. If you guys don't know the names, go look them up. Jesus of Nazareth, noted winemaker, dead at 33. And so on, right? So just go and look up, go on Twitter and look up hashtag WAPO death notices, and all of them will come up. But it shows you what the media is these days. It's like our president says, they're fake news. They are fake news. In order or attempting to take away what happened to our great nation, killing this monster who was chopping off reporters' heads, right? And they don't want to give Trump any credit, right? When Barack Hussein Obama made the call on Osama bin Laden, they made him a hero, right? And they proclaimed, Biden and Obama were campaigning saying that Al-Qaeda was decimated, on their heels and practically gone, right? That's how they ran against Mitt Romney, right? Saying that because they killed Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda was practically dead, which was insane because these guys, they're like, roaches. You kill one, there's 100,000 waiting in the wing, right? So, but they said that about Al-Qaeda when Osama bin Laden was killed because they wanted to make Obama seem like a hero. Now with Trump, they want to make sure he knows. This doesn't mean ISIS is over. Susan Rice came out and said, "Oh, this isn't. He shouldn't be throwing a victory lap. ISIS isn't over. They ain't dead yet." Yeah, we know. Go back to the rock you were, under, and just chill for a while. Let Trump be Trump. Let's celebrate the goodness of America and what happened. Our warriors went and killed a monster who formed the caliphate, who had pieces of Iraq, Syria, and he had formed a Islamic State, and they were killing people, beheading people, raping women. But, it really doesn't matter to Democrats. It really doesn't matter. What matters to the Washington Post and liberal freaks, Looney Tunes, is that somehow Trump would get the credit. And over here, and this is what I was talking about here in the office, when the people started coming in. Now, these are respected people, really intelligent people. And they're like, well, don't be too happy. It's not like he killed a active terrorist. This guy was in his house with his kids. And I'm like, what? I said, Osama bin Laden was in his house with his kids too when he was killed. Well, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't feel like Trump did something big here. And I'm like, Trump didn't do anything big. Our soldiers, our nation did something big. And he's the leader of this beautiful nation. Oh, well, here you go. Inflating Trump, the leader, like he's the leader of the world. No, talking about our nation. And these are the conversations I have with people. And I go, you think Obama killed Osama bin Laden? Yeah, he killed him. Wait. You think Obama killed him? Yeah, he killed him. No, you think Obama pulled the trigger? Well, he made the call. Well, you think he was on site making the call? Obama gave the permission to go in just like Trump did. And our heroes, our soldiers, our military went in and did their job. Look, I'm glad that Baghdadi got killed, but these aren't hard decisions. When they tell you we got al-Baghdadi, we know where he's at, we could go in and kill him, you kill him. Same thing with Osama bin Laden. Everybody, oh God, it was so hard for Obama. What was hard? Obama took months to pull the trigger, to make the decision. It's not that hard. The decision isn't that hard. Now, what our soldiers do is incredible. Incredibly hard, and they are incredible heroes. But as for the politicians making the decision, if you want to glorify Obama for the death of Osama bin Laden, then glorify Trump for the death of al-Baghdadi. It's not that hard. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
That's gonna problem. It's gonna real problem. It's gonna real big problem. Even though my brain just minding my shit, so the lights in the mirror, seatbelt ain't click. I'm innocent, my papers legit. And what's it gonna stop if it giving me shit? Come on! He's walking to my door, tapping on my glass, telling me his reasons for what he called fast. Doesn't matter, got no time to stress. It's about that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a big that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a real my brain just minding my shit. So the lights in the mirror, seatbelt ain't click. Come on! I'm innocent, my papers legit. And what's it gonna stop if it giving me shit? He's walking to my door, tapping on my glass, telling me his reasons for what he called fast. Doesn't matter, got no time to stress. It's about to be my witness. Frustrated, irritated while I'm sitting in court looking at the jury, feeling no support. My lawyer telling me to take plea. I can see the judge's eyes saying I should agree, but that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a real big problem. Come on, that's gonna be a problem. Hey. That's gonna be a real big problem. Left my girl home, now I'm rolling on my own. No shame that I pregame, sick as how to save. That's just how I do.
All right, you're listening to Breaking News with Harry, aka The Brave. It's like I have Rob Nice over here. By the way, thank you to Ugly Radio for the music I play. Independent music from Ugly Radio. I forgot the line that they use. Independent music for independent listeners, I think. So anyway, let's get to it. I threw up there Joe Biden. Right? For people who haven't heard it yet, let's do this.
Or others to convincing that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was 6 hours. I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
And there you go. Right? So, out of the horse's mouth himself, Joe Biden, he threatened the then president of Ukraine. You fire that prosecutor. Now, you have to know the backstory in order to understand the motivation, right, of for Biden to actually threaten another president, to extort another president, right? Biden had $1 billion in United States aid for Ukraine. $1 billion in aid, right? Aid that was put through by Congress, taxpayer money, appropriated funds, and Biden is using that money to threaten a world leader to fire, he was acting like he's part of their government. Fire that one prosecutor. He didn't say, revamp your Justice Department. He didn't say your whole Justice Department. He said, I want you to fire that one prosecutor. Now, that one prosecutor just happened to be investigating the company that Joe Biden's son was part of. That Joe Biden's son was receiving $50,000 a month from. Okay? You have the Democrats consistently talking about a quid pro quo with Trump. And they haven't been able to find it. And I'm going to read a portion of the transcript, because all of these hearings that you're hearing about, the inquiry, all has to do with the Ukrainian conversation. Now, it makes no sense for them to do it in private, in secret, because the transcript is out there. All they have to do is go by. They should be asking the witnesses, why is your testimony different from the transcript? Right? And that would cut through all the bull that's going on, because the witness testimony is their feelings of what they heard, which you could see in the transcript, which isn't evidence, is their feelings. Feelings aren't anything. Feelings aren't worth anything. I mean, unless you're in a relationship, then it's totally different. But now let's get to stories, right? And this story is part of that video that you just saw. Well, son of a bitch, Ukraine scandal is all about Biden. It's about Biden. Right? So, in all of this quid pro quo stuff, the only person we have on actual tape admitting to a quid pro quo or to an extortion plan is Biden. He said, I have 6 hours before I have to board my plane. If that prosecutor isn't fired in the next 6 hours, you get none of the congressional appropriated funds that I'm supposed to give you. It's not that hard, people. Right? All right. Let's move on. That's Biden. Now, here goes the classified information. Right? I'm going to read some of this classified information. Right? So, the president, I would like you... this is the part that the Democrats want to run an impeachment on, right? Now, keep in mind, and should I read this right now? Hold on, let me get... You know what? I'll read the transcript afterwards. I want to get to these stories first, because they help you understand what Trump was doing. Let's go to the Politico article. Now, this Politico article, which I was explaining to one of the Looney Tunes out there, the Democrats, right, who was telling me, don't be proud that we killed the terrorists. There's a lot of terrorists. And I said, like Osama bin Laden? No, that's different. Anyway, so here we go. So, and I was explaining to him that the media has been reporting stuff. If you go back the last 3 years, you could pick stuff that the media has reported, but that doesn't trend, right? Or doesn't get picked up by all of the papers. So it's not on the 24/7 news cycle, right? But they're there. Right? And the media does this. They post legit information, legit articles, but they hide it from you, and they basically go with the hyperbole of fake news. Right? So here we go. Politico. This was January 11, 2017. Ukraine efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. Now, in case you didn't hear that, or just go and look it up, this is in Politico. And it's January 11, 2017. Ukraine efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Ukraine was trying to interfere with our elections. Ukraine interfered with our elections, just like Russia. Here we go. This is Politico. Kiev officials are scrambling to make amends with the president-elect, Trump at the time, after quietly working to boost Hillary Clinton. This is breaking news. Of course, it was reported in 2017. But CNN and MSNBC, they didn't run with it. They should be running with it now, considering what's going on with Ukraine and this phone call, right? But let's read some of this. Donald Trump wasn't the only presidential candidate whose campaign was boosted by officials of a former Soviet bloc country. Ukrainian government officials tried to help Hillary Clinton and undermine Trump by publicly questioning his fitness for office. They also disseminated documents implicating a top Trump aide in corruption and suggested that they were investigating the matter, only to back away after the election. And they helped Clinton's allies research damaging information on Trump and his advisors, a political investigation found. A Ukrainian American operative who was consulting for the Democratic National Committee met with top officials in the Ukrainian embassy in Washington in an effort to expose ties between Trump, top campaign aide Paul Manafort, and Russia, according to people with direct knowledge of the situation. The Ukrainian efforts had an impact in the race, helping to force Manafort's resignation and advancing the narrative that Trump's campaign was deeply connected to Ukraine's foe to the east, Russia. But they were far less concerted or centrally directed than Russia's alleged hacking and dissemination of Democratic emails. So here we go. So, right, you have evidence that not only were they helping, right, that not only were they putting themselves in the middle of our elections, right, but the most important part of this is that a Ukrainian American operative who was consulting for the Democratic National Committee met with top officials in the Ukrainian embassy in Washington in an effort to, you see, they were colluding. The Democrats were colluding. This is the evidence. This article is the evidence. This is Exhibit A. And I'm sure Attorney General Barr has reached out to Politico and this reporter to find out what else, they know about this. Right? But, the media, how many of you have heard this? Nobody. The media lies to you. Right? The media lies to you and they sell you these stories of conjecture, of speculation, and no proof. Well, here goes the proof. Right? Here is the proof. They don't have any proof on Trump. But let me just, now that you've actually heard that portion of it, let's go to the transcript where the Democrats are saying that Trump did something wrong. Right? They say that Trump was asking for Ukraine to investigate Biden. It's not in here. Here we go. President Trump, I would like you to do us a favor, though. Because the Ukrainian president was, we love the United States. You guys help us so much, yada, yada, yada. We want to order more military equipment from you, yada, yada, yada. And then Trump is complaining the whole time. Yeah, but Europe doesn't help you. Nobody over Angela Merkel talks a good game, but she doesn't play a good game, right? So, after all of that, Trump says, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot, and Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say CrowdStrike. Now, CrowdStrike was the company that Hillary used, or the DNC used, to investigate their servers that were allegedly hacked by Russia, right? So they use CrowdStrike. The FBI never gets its hands on that server. The FBI's actually use the report from CrowdStrike that says it was Russia. And they run with that and they say Russia hacked, right? Now, Russia could have hacked. Many people hacked. The DNC and Hillary, right? So Trump says, okay, now, since CrowdStrike is actually owned by a Ukrainian person or a former Russian oligarch, is there any way we could get these servers? Right? He says, look into CrowdStrike. Right? I guess you have one of your wealthy people who owns the server. They say Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that went on. The whole situation. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I would like you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, that whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller, an incompetent performance. But they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it's very important that you do it, if that's possible. Did you hear that? Did that sound like, I got 6 hours. If you don't do it in 6 hours, you get nothing. No, he said, can you do it if it's possible? He never made anything he didn't put money to that favor. He said, listen, you guys meddled in our elections, and I would like to know what happened in 2016. It's that simple. I want to know, because they accused me of everything, and you guys, they used you to assist the DNC. I want to know what happened. Because if, he is the commander-in-chief, if something criminal happened, he should know. Right? It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Because you have the Democrats, you have the intelligence agencies going after Trump without any proof of anything. As a matter of fact, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, the paramours, the FBI agent and the Department of Justice lawyer who had an affair and were texting each other instead of sweet nothings, who could hate Trump more? They would. It's like their love affair, their allegiance. What they had in common in between them was their hate for Trump. Right? And both of them, they both testified in front of Congress that on the day Robert Mueller takes over the case, they have nothing on Trump. They have nothing to associate Trump with collusion. Yet, a special prosecutor takes over the case and puts Trump through hell. So, for you to understand why Trump asked the president of Ukraine, hey, listen, this is what I need. And he doesn't say that. He says, can you please, if possible? Much different than Biden. You fire that prosecutor or you get no funding. And the guy goes, wait, you don't have the authority. President Obama said, call Obama. I guarantee you, you are not getting the money if you don't fire that prosecutor. Now, it makes it sound like Obama was part of that extortion scheme. But, Biden is a liar. He's a liar. So we don't know. We don't know. But we do know that Biden threatened the then president of Ukraine to withhold funds if a quid pro quo wasn't put into effect. And there you go. That's why. Now, the media never gives you the backstory, right? Now, in the following paragraph, Trump asked about Biden's son. I don't got time to read it. You do have time to read it. Pull it up. All you got to do is do Ukraine transcript. It'll pop up. And he tells them, hey, listen, I heard Biden got a prosecutor fired. Biden is actually bragging about it. And I showed you the video. Biden was actually bragging about it. And he goes, can you check into that too? No quid pro quo. No, you're not getting aid. You're not going to get the javelins that this guy's talking about, the missiles. It's that simple. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Don't be part of this, have a sheep mentality that because somebody tells you something, it has to be so. Be smarter than that. All right. Quick music break. I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave.
Yo, it's the G-O-D. That's P-O-D.
All right, let's get to the articles because time runs fast. All right, here we go. How the Obama White House engaged Ukraine to give Russia collusion narrative an early boost. Right? As Donald Trump began his meteoric rise to the presidency, the Obama White House summoned Ukraine authorities to Washington to coordinate ongoing anti-corruption efforts inside Russia's most critical neighbor. The January 2016 gathering, confirmed by multiple participants and contemporaneous memos, brought some of Ukraine's top corruption prosecutors and investigators face to face with members of the former President Obama's National Security Council, FBI, State Department, and Department of Justice. The agenda suggested the purpose was training and coordination, but Ukraine participants said it didn't take long during the meeting and afterward to realize the Americans' objectives included two politically hot investigations. One that touched Vice President Joe Biden's family. Keep that in mind, right? This is 2016. Joe Biden's son is already part of Burisma, which is the Ukrainian company who was paying him $50,000 a month for doing nothing. He has no experience in anything, in oil and anything. Right? And even he said on Good Morning America, if it wasn't for the Biden name, he probably wouldn't have been invited to be part of that company. And he wouldn't have a quid pro quo, right? They're giving money to his son for Biden's participation somewhere else, right? Or the Obama administration, right? So the agenda suggested the purpose was... okay, here we go. Americans' objectives included two political hot investigations, right, that touched Vice President Joe Biden's family and one that involved a lobbying firm linked closely to then candidate Trump. U.S. officials kept talking about how important it was that all of our anti-corruption efforts be united, said Andriy Telesenko, then a political officer in the Ukrainian embassy in Washington, tasked with organizing the meeting. Teleshenko, who no longer works for the Ukrainian embassy, said U.S. officials volunteered during the meeting, one of which was held in the White House's old executive office building, that they had an interest in reviving a closed investigation into payments to U.S. figures from Ukraine's Russia-backed Party of Regions. And so on. So, read the whole article. I don't got time. But they already were in the process of starting to investigate Trump and using Ukraine, which is interesting, right? The Democrats and the media are always telling us, why would Trump get a foreign country involved in a domestic election? What are they doing? And here goes the Obama administration doing the same thing Democrats and the media are accusing Trump of, right? And the key thing here, because we know the Obama administration investigated the Trump campaign, and then they investigated President-elect Trump, and then the layovers of the Obama administration and the Never Trumpers, the deep state, have continually leaked and investigated Trump as his presidency has gone along. Right? But the most important thing here is that they touched, in 2016, they touched on the hot investigation issue of Vice President Joe Biden's family. They knew that Biden's family was getting money. They were leveraging Joe Biden to get money. Unbelievable. Right? There you go. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is a goodie. A oldie but a goodie.
The interest of investigation, right? And fair trial.
Okay, hold on. These things always go off. But let's listen to this because this is quick.
My last election, yeah. After my election, I have more flexibility. Yeah.
I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and understand.
And there you go. Right? For anybody who doubted it, that's the smoking gun of a president actually colluding with Russia. That's the smoking gun. If you didn't see it, let me put it right back, right? That's President Barack Obama with President of Russia, Medvedev, at the time, telling Medvedev, this is my final election, and after this election, tell Vladimir that I will be more flexible. I would like to know, what did he mean flexible? Was he talking about joining Putin's yoga class? Do you think that's what it was? Or maybe this Manchurian candidate was talking about allowing Putin to meddle in our elections for Hillary Clinton. Because that Russian dossier, the dossier that was used to start the investigation on Donald Trump and his campaign, was sourced from Russia. All the information came from Russian agents, which Hillary Clinton hired Fusion GPS. Yeah, Fusion GPS. That's the agency that Mueller didn't know on the testimony when he was testifying. Fusion GPS was paid by Hillary Clinton and the DNC 10 to 12 million for the fake Russian dossier that was used to start an investigation on Trump. Russian dossier. Understand this. Russian dossier. Russian dossier, people. Paid for by the DNC and the Clinton campaign. Now that dossier has stained Trump's campaign, his presidency. Of course, he was exonerated. But tell me who Russia helped more in getting Trump investigated. Did they help Hillary Clinton more? What did they do against Hillary Clinton? Put a couple of ads on Facebook? About 100,000 in ads? You think that changed the election of America? Or a dossier that was used by the FBI and CIA to go after a candidate and a political enemy of Obama and Hillary Clinton? Obama, who spent the last month of Hillary Clinton's campaign campaigning for her. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Okay, let's move on. What's this video? Oh no, and look, and this is more proof. Just so you know, this is proof of what the Obama intelligence community did to Trump. And Trump should actually call Chucky Schumer and thank him for this warning, right? But here we go. Let me move it over. Chucky Schumer was on Rachel Maddow's show, and he says this. Wait, let me go all the way back here.
Blindside you with this. This is the latest statement, latest tweet, as you were just saying, the president-elect's latest unsolicited pronouncement on the intelligence community. This was his tweet just a little while ago tonight. You see the scare quotes there. The intelligence briefing on so-called Russian hacking was delayed until Friday. Perhaps more time needed to build a case. Very strange. We're actually told, intelligence sources tell NBC News since this tweet has been posted, that actually this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on with the Russian hacking.
Did you hear that? 6 ways from Sunday to get back at Trump. What do you think the intelligence community would do? I don't know, but they're really angry at him. That was the start, people. Well, it was before they had started the investigation into Trump before that. But then remember that Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, I forget what they called it, a backup plan, just in case Trump wins plan, right? They said they had a backup plan, right? Just in case he won. And all of this has been the intelligence community getting back at Trump for calling them out. For saying they've been wrong all along. They were wrong on Iraq. They were wrong on many things. Yeah. Actually, Trump was trumpeting the same song the Democrats have been trumpeting for years. Until the intelligence community set its sights on Trump. Then the Democrats started cheering the intelligence community that they never trusted. Remember? Under George Bush, you didn't trust the intelligence community, right? Under George Bush, Comey, who gets the anthrax case wrong, right? That guy Comey who got Boston and the Boston Mafia wrong, that guy, the Democrats started celebrating because he was against Trump. Wait a minute. Boston was Mueller. Sorry about that. I think Mueller and Comey were the anthrax, and Boston was Mueller who got it wrong. But anyway, the intelligence community, who's gotten a lot of things wrong and who has withheld evidence, Andrew Weinstein, in order to put people in jail. Chucky Schumer, this guy, he said that Trump should shut up because the intelligence agency has 6 ways from Sunday to get you. And they were really angry at Trump. Chucky Schumer, folks. Right? and Trump should thank him because, and like I said, it's like the media. Occasionally they say the truth, right? But since it doesn't get picked up by the mainstream media, the talking heads, you don't get to hear it. It's incredible over here. I talk to people every day that don't know anything, don't know what's coming out of the FOIA requests that have been put before the courts. Judicial Watch has been putting FOIA requests after FOIA requests, and emails, texts are still coming out, but nobody reports it. Nobody reports what's going on, what the intelligence community did wrong. And this week, the FISA report should come out from the IG, the Inspector General. There's a lot of information that that people don't know. And I'll keep bringing it to you, right? Because I'm sure nobody heard this. This was in September. No. This was in January 2017 that Chuck Schumer had this interview with Rachel Maddow. Trump hadn't been inaugurated yet. He was still president-elect. And Chuck Schumer was saying, woo, the intelligence community is coming after this guy. Right? Okay, let's move on. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful right here. Oh, I'm almost out of time. I got to get to this one. All right. So, James Clapper, there's Real Clear Politics. Former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper revealed in an interview last week that if not for President Obama asking for intelligence community assessment that set off the whole sequence of events, we would not have the Mueller investigation. Clapper, a CNN contributor, said the effects of that intel assessment are still unfolding today. He's telling you, James Clapper, who now feels threatened, right? Because now he's under investigation. James Clapper, Brennan, the CIA chief, Comey, the FBI director at the time, James Clapper, the DNI. All of these guys are now under investigation for possibly abusing their power and using foreign assets to go after the Trump campaign. Now, he's in a panic and he's like, I don't know why I would be thrown in jail when all I did was follow orders from Obama. Obama, who supposedly knew nothing. James Clapper is suddenly throwing under the bus. All right, I gotta get out of here. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to Breaking News with Harry, aka The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Hi, this is Bella, and you are listening WN8 LP 1